G'day Jafffa Adventures, Terry King here. Welcome to the channel. 2 stars of the show today. 1, a 200 series Landcruiser, and 2, some stage 3 JBL speakers. Want to watch the stars? Stick around. What you just heard there were the door speakers, which are located here, and those are a pair of focals, and I've got a video on how to install those. But the other thing you heard were these shitty little tweeters that are mounted up in the dash. The focus of today is going to be replacing those with those JBL speakers. And there we have them. Now I've pulled one of the factory speakers out just so that I can compare the two for you before I pop them in, and you won't be able to see a comparison. This factory speaker had a little bit of foam here. All of that foam has perished and it's now turned into this gooey mess. However, the factory speaker is, oh look at that, made in China. 9 whole watts. Look out, people. These JBL speakers I'm swapping them with are 150 watts peak. That's a massive increase over these factory jobos. Now, the first thing you might say is, hey Terry, these are tweeters, and you're actually replacing them with a mid-range. These are in fact a 2-way speaker, so you got your mid-range here, but in this cone is a tweeter as well. So we're replacing a tweeter with a tweeter, and then boosting it with a little extra bass through this mid-range. Most importantly, from a mounting point of view, there's the holes where the factory speaker mounts. If we take this JBL jobby, and we flip it over, look at that. Those 2 holes line up on this JBL mount. So that is going to be able to mount directly into the dash. So there's one headache we don't have to worry about, no hacking and chopping. The other thing is the electrical connector. The Toyota harness plugs in here, obviously. However, it's soldered here. So to install these JBLs in their place, simply got to take this plug off, unsolder those, solder them in here, and then plug that back into the factory harness. Bob's your uncle. First things first, however, I'll show you how to pull these factory speakers out of the dash. That's a piece of piss. Okay, I got you guys sitting out on the bonnet looking through the windscreen. There's the grill on the passenger side. I've got these little trim tools that I picked off of eBay for, I don't know, dollars, maybe cents. And what we do is jam it between the dash and the speaker grill, just lever it up. There's 2 clips holding these in. 1, 2, and there's our speaker, and the foam on this side as well is all deteriorated. It's turned from foam into goo. There's your 2 clips on the grill cover, and they just fit into these little holes in the dash. The speaker's held in with 2 10mm screws. Now we just pop our speaker out of the mounting. And there's a Toyota factory harness that we unplug. You push this little detent down and wiggle and pull until it comes out. You can buy a set of pliers that grabs onto these little clips and pulls them out. I've actually purchased a set, but they haven't arrived yet. I'd be really keen to give them a go on something like this, because I reckon these types of clips are right up their alley. There we go. There's your factory plug. There's our speaker. Let's head over to the bench. If your foam's turned into goo like mine, don't set them face down on your dash, because it'll end up goo on the dash. Now I gotta get that off. This is what I mean about that foam getting all sticky. Just listen to that. All right, first things first, let's get our plug off here. There's a little detent right in there that you gotta push down. Slide that plug off. Now, I guess there's 2 ways we can get this plug off. I can either unsolder it, or I can just chop it off and strip the wire back a little bit more. And I think there's enough wire there to just chop it off. All right, bye-bye junk factory speaker. Now, on our JBL speaker, the negative is the small one, and the positive is the large one. All right, that's the negative side soldered on. That's our positive side soldered on. Time to mount our speakers. And here's our in-depth JBL instructions. You got 2 speakers, take them out of the box. Wire to negative, wire to positive. You got 4 screws, screw them into the mounting area. That's a bit of a waste of paper, isn't it? Now there's one mod that you need to make to this speaker. I'll show you what needs to be done here. You need to orient your speaker the way that you want it to. I'm going to orient mine so that the plug assembly is facing the back of the speaker. I'm not plugging it in at the moment, of course. And if I sit the speaker down in there to line that up with that up, I can't. Because one, this tab on the front interferes with the front of the dash, and this tab here on the back interferes with the back of the dash. So you either got to bend those up or chop them off. I think chopping off actually is the only option, because if you bend them up or down, it'll probably still interfere. So orient your speaker to the way that you want, identify which tabs have got to go, and do the choppy choppy. My two are those. I'm going to try a pair of tin snips for this. Oh yeah, piece of piss. Piece of piss. On one side, and 180 degrees on the other way. Don't get this wrong, because there's no coming back from this. There we go, 180 degree apart tabs. Let's go mount the speaker up. Plug in our connector, click, drop the speaker in. I'll orient that around so that the plugs are facing the back. Set the speaker down inside. I'm just gonna shift that plug back a little bit. There we go, that's better. Just put that in a couple of turns by hand as a locator. Now these speakers were about 75 bucks or so. And if you're gonna ask me where you can get them, maybe you shouldn't be trusted with sharp tools. I'm kidding, of course. But you can get them everywhere. Just look up the part number, which I'll flash on the screen, and go to your favorite retailer. I got no affiliation with JBL. As you know, I've got no affiliation with anybody at all. Now I've just shifted the speaker a little bit so that the washer drops down beside the ridge, the raised ridge on the side of the speaker. And I wouldn't suggest over tightening these suckers, because they just go into plastic and you could strip them, no worries. That'll do. That's in there as solid as a rock. While I've got my grill out, I might as well clean out all the red dust. Believe it or not, that is actually better. Alrighty, grill back in place. Done. You'd never know there weren't factory speakers in there. Okay, time to rinse and repeat on the driver's side. Then we'll kick this head unit in the guts and see if I can notice a difference in sound quality. If not, I've just pissed $75 off into the wind. See the smile on my dial? That sounds so much better than those shitty little factory speakers. I'll try and put the audio clips back to back. I don't know whether you'll notice a difference listening through an iPhone or an iPad, or even being recorded on these shitty little microphones on these GoPros. But if you follow the channel, you know I carry myself with a lot of integrity, and trust me, these things sound mint. How long did that job take? Geez, 20 minutes, maybe, maximum? What do you need? A 10mm spanner, a trim tool, a soldering iron, and if you don't want that door internal buzzer driving you crazy, put yourself a little clamp on it. Otherwise, you get to listen to that all day. Next job for me on the Landcruiser is replacing those injectors. Why did I do those speakers? Because I'm avoiding that job. Keep the shiny side up, everybody. Until next time, bye now.